Welcome to our deep dive into your sources.
Glad to be here.
So today we're looking at a bunch of articles from early June 2025, basically a snapshot of the crypto world then.
Yeah, quite a mix. Regulation, market moves, altcoins, it's all in there.
Exactly. We've got regulatory stuff, specific price action, some interesting altcoin trends. Our goal here is simple. Unpack this, pull out the important bits, and get you clued in quickly.
Sounds good. It really shows a market being pulled by, well, different forces at the same time.
Okay, let's jump in then. Let's talk market pulse first. Your sources flagged Ripple's XRP. Noticed its price volatility in early June.
And analysts were apparently pointing to specific resistance levels, trying to read the sentiment around it.
So not just vibes, but actual technical levels.
Right. This suggests traders were, watching the charts closely, looking for those turning points that week. That's what the sources highlight.
And speaking of specific moves, this one caught my eye. A report about James Wynn opening a high-risk Bitcoin position with 40x leverage. The sources said that really got people talking.
Absolutely. And that kind of story, it's not just about one trader, right? It highlights that high leverage play is still very much a thing.
High risk, high reward, or loss.
Exactly. It fuels volatility, shows the risk appetite out there. And according to the sources, these moves become big discussion points. Tells you something about the mood.
Okay, so beyond individual kind of risky trades, the market was also looking outwards. One source mentioned everyone waiting for the US CPI data.
Yeah, that's key.
Because of the Fed, interest rates, that whole connection.
Precisely. It just shows crypto doesn't live in a bubble. It's tied into the bigger macro picture. That anticipation around inflation data, CPI, it really emphasizes how much crypto traders watch the Fed. Rate decisions impact liquidity, risk tolerance, everything.
Right, across all markets, including crypto. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Regulation, always looming.
Always.
One source directly asks, how's the SEC going to handle DeFi, these decentralized finance hurdles?
That's the fundamental challenge, isn't it? Their sources really stress how DeFi, being pseudonymous, automated, no central boss, just doesn't fit neatly into old financial rules.
Rules made for banks and brokers.
Exactly. So who's responsible? Where's the jurisdiction? How do you even enforce anything? These are the big puzzles the articles point to, still shaping the future.
Okay, so from the regulators to the big players, maybe the ones being regulated, this detail about Tether seemed pretty significant.
Ah, yes, Palo Arduino.
The CEO reportedly said on June 7th, no plans to go public,
Yeah.
and called a potential $515 billion valuation a bit bearish.
Especially interesting because their competitor, Circle, did recently go public on the NYSE.
What a contrast.
It really is. You've got Circle embracing public markets, transparency, all that. And then Tether saying, nope, staying private, and that comment on valuation.
What do you make of that?
Well, the sources highlighting it makes you think about their priorities. Maybe Tether values control, flexibility more. Avoiding the scrutiny public companies face, it suggests these stablecoin giants could be heading down very different paths. Big implications.
Interesting. Okay, let's pivot finally to altcoins. One source called June 2025, a pivotal month for watching alts.
Yeah, urging focus on real signals like development, ecosystem growth, not just hype.
Substance over sizzle.
Basically. And if you connect that thinking, the source actually named names, examples of projects gaining serious ground based on those fundamentals.
Ooh, who did they mention?
According to these articles, they pointed to BlockDAG, Cosmos, Aptos, and Aave,
Okay.
highlighting them because of that development focus. It's like the source is saying, look deeper, look under the hood here.
Gotcha. And one last quick mention, SUI. Price prediction showing mixed feelings after a hack.
Right. That's just a reminder, isn't it? Even strong projects can get hit hard by specific events like a security breach. Sentiment can turn fast.
And it also brings up tech, like the sources mentioned Kubernetes wallet architecture.
Yeah, implies people are looking closely at how things are built, security, resilience, especially after something like the SUI hack happens. It becomes a focus.
So quite a range we've covered from your sources today. Regulatory knots, high-stakes trades, macro links, stablecoin strategies, and specific altcoin signals.
It really paints a complex picture, which actually brings up a question for you, the listener. When you're faced with all this different information, you've got macro news, project hacks, regulatory uncertainty, CEO statements, development signals. How do you personally put all those pieces together? How do you synthesize it all to form your own view of the crypto market?
Definitely something to think about as you process all these insights.